All right, welcome in as we get started with tonight's post-game press conference. We're joined by head coach Emma Coates. We're going to let her make a quick statement, and then we will move on to questions. So, Coach, go ahead.
Yeah, obviously disappointed with the result today. Obviously, it's a difficult place to come. Thought we started the game really bright in the first 5 minutes. We struggled a little bit with some of the challenges they gave us from our out of possession point of view. We tweaked a couple of things in the second half, and I'm really proud of the way that we finished the game. I thought we had a couple of really big chances. It felt like we were going to score, and as I say, the second goal sort of took the wind out of our sails a little bit. But you know, quick turnaround now, and got to decompress from this game and straight into the Chicago game at the weekend.
All right, thanks, Coach. We're going to go ahead and open up questions. Brian, you had your hand up.
Yeah, Coach, obviously a disappointing loss there, but three games in a row, in quick succession, but the amount of goals given up this season has really got to be encouraging. But what do you have to do conversely to start putting the ball in the back of the net a little bit more?
Yeah, obviously we created, I thought, two really big chances in the game. We've clipped the crossbar. I think some of that comes down to a little bit of just like composure in and around the area. I think some of it comes down to sometimes when you're in and around the final third, it can be a feeling sometimes, and that feeling of confidence and momentum, and you get one early and another one comes, and it's not like we're not getting the ball in the right areas. It's not like we're not creating chances. And as I say, it's something we're working really hard on.
I mean, is this something that you can work out in training, or is this kind of one of those you've got to have the players look at each other and just kind of work it out amongst themselves a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's the hardest thing to do in the game, isn't it? Score a goal. So not all of it is down to just our attacking. Some of it is down to good defending from the opposition. It's absolutely something that we can work on, like any other part of the game. It's something we are working hard on. It's something that you can practice, rehearse, and as I say, another day those chances go in, and we're probably having a very different conversation right now. So, as I say, it felt like we were going to score at one point. We created chances. It felt like we were going to score, and as I say, it's the hardest thing to do in the game, and we're absolutely working on it.
All right, thanks, Brian. Coach, like you talked about, short turnaround. You talked about it all week. It's something you're used to. Is it something real quick to turn after a game like this?
Yeah, I think from a player's point of view and from a staff point of view, you've got to emotionally decompress from this game. We've got to recover properly. Recovery starts right now, getting the right food, optimising sleep, good travel day tomorrow, and then we're straight into obviously prep for Chicago, these tight turnarounds in terms of the way that we set the team up, the processes, the workflow going into it, something that we're used to. We've got a lot of players that play international football on the team, so we're excited to bounce back and hopefully put in a good performance against Chicago.
All right. Any other questions for Coach? Okay, we're going to let her go, and we'll be back with Karlie Lema and Hannah Bebar.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
We're back, and please be joined by Karlie Lema and Hannah Bebar. We will go ahead and open straight to questions for these two. Brian, you have your hand up?
I do, yes. So just kind of looking at the way that this kind of game kind of played out, the defense seems to be working, but just that last connection in the box just seems to not be there. What do you guys have to do to kind of connect this a little bit to get back on these, getting points in the last few games ways?
Yeah, I think really proud of the fight we had. I think it's a positive note that we were in our offensive third a whole lot in the second half. We had a lot of threatening chances, threatening crosses. So, it's one of those, one day is going to go your way, and I think we're training a lot really about changing up and making sure that we're creating different types of attacks. So I think it's getting better. I think, that finishing touch is extremely difficult, but I think the pieces will come together, and the season's still very young. So I think things will develop over time.
Because one of the trends that we've seen this year as opposed to the last 2 years is the team is not conceding late, is not conceding what you'd call just kind of what the heck happened their goals, and it hasn't really except for the Gotham game, hasn't really had any game where it's been kind of like what happened. How much is that playing into what coach is wanting to see and what you're expecting of each other to be in every game, and just one little thing here and there is going to start getting these wins and more, and like the last 3 games, results just piling on up?
Yeah, I think obviously we want to win and we want to put the ball in the back of the net, and I think once we can put one away, the rest of them will continue to come. But I think we need to start faster, and we didn't do that today, but I think we have a quick turnaround, so we're gonna get back on it on Sunday.
All right, thanks, Brian. We have Marco joined us. Marco, you have your hand up.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
A little crackly there, Marco.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
What important did to maybe stymie you guys' high press attack tonight? It seemed like they had the ball a lot. It's tough to stop Sophia. Did they do anything just focusing on you guys to stop the high press? How do you explain that tonight?
Yeah. I think Portland has very good offensive threats, but I honestly think we stifled their attack. For the most part, besides some transitions, which we were a bit sloppy on at times, and they're super quick. So I think for the most part in the run of play and open play, we dominated in the second half, but it's those little slip-ups that sometimes will harm us, and they capitalize on it. But I think for the most part, our backline did really well in adjusting throughout the game to Portland's threat, but Portland's a quality team. This is a really hard environment to play in, so fair play to them. But I honestly think we had some good moments.
Am I able to put this one past you and get ready for Sunday? It's such a quick turnaround.
Yeah, such a quick turnaround. This league is ruthless, especially with these midweek games. So we're turning to Sunday, learn some lessons from today, but focus on Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions for these two? Okay, that is it for us today then. As she said, we will be back in action Sunday at home from PayPal Park against the Chicago Stars. Thanks, everybody.